Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A SWAT team answers the call to a weekend standoff in Belvedere. The reason the crisis team stepped in.
Plus, a club at Belvedere High School has a special connection to Ukraine. You can help their aid efforts for refugees.
And Rockford will host a red carpet premiere for a film 5 years in the making. Some movie scenes may look very familiar. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
SWAT team and crisis negotiators are called to a Belvedere apartment over the weekend.
Police say a man threw bleach in a family member's eyes. Rachel Perry talked with Belvedere's police chief about this case. Rachel, why was SWAT called?
Mimi and Eric, Police Chief Shane Woody says they arrived on scene and the man had barricaded himself inside a room with a knife. At that point, Woody made the decision to bring in their SWAT team.
No law enforcement leader wants to use force unless they absolutely have to.
A domestic dispute Saturday in Belvedere prompts police to evacuate an apartment building.
Patrol ended up getting called out to the 200 block of Highline Drive for a report of the family member who had thrown bleach in the eyes of another family member.
Belvedere Police Chief Shane Woody says 44-year-old Nanache Breaks then barricaded himself in a room with a knife, refusing to leave for 6 hours. Police worked to de-escalate the situation, calling in crisis negotiators first.
If we have the ability to make contact, communicate, and try and influence and convince somebody to come out on their own without the situation escalating, that's always going to be our first course of action.
And if that doesn't work, that's when SWAT gets a call. Woody says they aim to avoid any use of force unless it's crucial for safety.
We want to give everybody that we deal with the opportunity to end these types of situations peacefully. That's why during this process, we're constantly asking them, come outside, just give yourself up. Nobody's going to hurt you.
But he says calling them is uncommon for his department.
SWAT is essentially like a major medical insurance. You hope that you never have to use it, but if for some reason you do, it's good to have them there.
Breaks eventually surrendered. It is now charged with domestic abuse. Woody says the victim was taken to the hospital, treated, and released. If you are a victim or witness to domestic violence, we have a list of resources on our website. Just click on State Line Strong at the top of the page. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Rachel. A 17-year-old recovers from a late-night shooting in Rockford. Police responded to the 2600 block of Montedera Drive just before 11 Sunday night. A 17-year-old female told police she was shot while inside a house. Police say several friends and family members were home at the time. The victim was transported to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Meantime, a Rockford woman recovers from injuries sustained during a Friday shooting. Police responded to the 1200 block of West Street. They found a 23-year-old woman with a life-threatening gunshot wound. The victim told police she heard a knock on the front window, followed by gunfire. She was rushed to the hospital for treatment.
Police charge a man with aggravated unlawful use of a weapon after a weekend shooting in Rockford. Officers responded to the 600 block of Acorn Street around 4 Saturday afternoon. They found a parked vehicle hit by several bullets. Investigators spoke with 18-year-old Kevon Tillman Jackson. They say he was uncooperative. Other charges include possession of a defaced firearm and no valid FOID card. A ramp onto Bypass 20 is back open after a car hit a pedestrian early this morning. Rockford police say that person was hit a little after midnight on the westbound ramp from 11th Street. Investigators closed that ramp for about 4 hours. There is no word on the condition of that person involved. Day 26 of the invasion of Ukraine. A senior U.S. official says Russian troops are stalled near Kyiv.
This comes as President Biden heads to Europe amid the growing humanitarian crisis. The United Nations says 10 million Ukrainians have fled or been displaced, and the civilian death toll is climbing, with some families trapped by the bombings. Others lined up for Polish ID numbers similar to a Social Security number. President Biden will meet with NATO leaders in Belgium on Wednesday before heading to Poland. Belvedere High School is taking donations for Ukraine, which they say will go directly to refugees. Their club advisor for National Honor Society is from Ukraine and has family there. The club's student president says helping now feels better than in the past.
It's great because we're able to actually have an impact on the community, and it's not just staying in our own bubble. I feel like last year was a difficult year for us because we had to do a lot of stuff like close together with each other, but now we're able to branch out in the community and actually make a difference, which is what National Honor Society is all about.
Christ the Savior Orthodox Church in Rockford is holding a prayer vigil for Ukraine. The church on Pershing Avenue was founded by immigrants, including some from Ukraine, in the 1950s. The service begins at 6 tonight and is open to the public. Church members want this to be a weekly event.
A Rockford native is putting his hometown on the map. If you're watching The Blacklight, you may notice some of the scene locations. Amory Wilder sat down with the filmmaker about the upcoming premiere. Amory?
That's right, Eric and Mimi. After 5 years in the making, Don Hatton tells me he's ready to roll out the red carpet. He says he hopes people are as excited about the movie screening in Rockford as he is.
It's great to be able to come back and film and share it with the people in the area.
Don Hatton is executive producer of The Blacklight, whose budget was no more than $250,000.
As the executive producer, you're really the one that handles the financing side of things. So any investors or negotiating locations.
Being from the state line, Hatton opted to use places here in northern Illinois for some scenes. Places like the Stronghold Castle in Oregon, along with the National Lock Building and Carl's Auto Body Shop on 7th in Rockford are just a couple that may be familiar.
Not only during the filming, the actual production of it, but in post and when the film comes out, again, the film tourism associated with that and people wanting to come and see the locations and see, where the film was shot, whether it's interiors or exteriors, it builds that vibe around the city.
The Blacklight screened at multiple festivals across the country, picking up awards along the way. While crews started filming in 2016, the pandemic put production behind. But Hatton says there's no time like the present.
Hopefully people are getting back into the theater and they feel safe enough to be able to do that as well and can go to the theater and enjoy The Blacklight just, like any other film that they'd check out at AMC.
The movie premiere is this Thursday at Rockford AMC Showplace 16. Doors open at 6 and the movie starts at 7:30.
Dozens rally outside the Supreme Court today ahead of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's first day of confirmation hearings.
If confirmed, Judge Jackson will be the first black woman to sit on the high court. Supporters say that would speak volumes across the country. Raquel Martin has more from Washington, D.C.
Raise your right hand.
Monday, as Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson faced the first day of confirmation hearings. Outside, her supporters rallied behind her.
It's exciting. I'm overwhelmed with joy, that people are coming here and supporting KBJ.
23-year-old Christina Mitchell traveled from Louisiana with classmates from Southern University Law Center. Their group is one of nearly a dozen here urging the Senate to confirm the history-making nominee.
She's setting the standard for us.
Her classmate, Treslyn Davenport, says Judge Jackson's confirmation is bigger than just one seat.
This represents black women who are constantly breaking glass ceilings.
Illinois Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, who made history as the first black woman elected as her state's second in command, got a front row seat inside the hearing room.
She is a brilliant legal mind, and as a fellow lawyer and as a fellow American, it is just such an honor to witness this moment in history.
But despite that support, Judge Jackson is facing some pushback from Republicans who are concerned she's too soft on crime.
In every case, in each of these 7, Judge Jackson handed down a lenient sentence that was below what the federal guidelines recommended.
During the hearing, Republican Senator Josh Hawley repeated his claims that Judge Jackson went easy with sex offender sentences. But with little power for Republicans to block Judge Jackson's confirmation, her supporters are confident she'll power through.
She's made it this far, so she's used to it. She's used to it.
In Washington, Raquel Martin.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Another absolutely gorgeous afternoon as temperatures today made it into the low to mid 70s, rising well above average, but our numbers are going down over the next several days as we've got more cloud cover and then eventually some rain that begins to move in. Winds stay a little on the breezy side from the south and southwest, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. We've had some gusts today up close to around 25 and 30. Winds will stay a little breezy here as we go through the night tonight, but that combined with the increase in cloud cover will keep our temperatures in the mid and upper 40s, so a very mild night ahead. We're at 71 in Freeport, 72 now in Rockford, 69 in DeKalb, and 68 our current temperature in Rochelle. Very comfortable out there this evening. 74 for our weather watcher Ben in South Beloit. Same temperature there for Bob here on the southeast end of Rockford. You got 73 degrees right now in Belvedere and 72 with a little bit more cloud cover just north of Forston. Starting to see those clouds increase. A live look with our Mercyale Skytrack camera now out of the Poplar Grove Airport. Cloud cover will continue to thicken up through this evening. This all ahead of our next storm system that'll work in, and this stays with us for the next couple of days and brings us that rainfall as early as very early tomorrow morning. Now I know maybe the warmer weather these last couple of days you've got a little itch to get out there, right? Some spring fever, and any avid gardener would tell you hold off. We've got about another month to month and a half before you can really start getting there in the ground, start working things out, because typically we get our last freeze, which is about 32 degrees right around that last week of April 27th. The earliest we had 32, April 7th, the latest May 27th. That hard freeze comes a little earlier. That is around 28 degrees and below. That usually comes within the first week to week and a half of April. Earliest March 27th, latest here in Rockford, May 7th. So good rule of thumb, Mother's Day. Anytime after that, a good time to get out in the gardens and start planting, unless you've got a couple things that may be a little bit more hardy and can withstand some of that cold. Now, the colder temperature is something we will experience here by the end of this week as our numbers fall back below average. Look at the severe weather ongoing here across Texas. A couple severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings. This all tied into that strong low pressure system that'll help bring that cloud cover here as we go through the night tonight, and then that rain. So take advantage of the evening while you can, because it is still going to be nice out there. We are dry through about midnight. I think between about 2 and 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll start to see some rain begin to move in. It'll come in from the south and then work up to the north. We'll see some light rain showers through the morning tomorrow, so anticipate kind of a wet start to our Tuesday. Then that activity becomes a little bit more scattered through the afternoon. It's not going to be continuous, but we'll have more on and off rain showers through the afternoon as temperatures make it into the low 50s. As low pressure moves closer to us, Tuesday night into Wednesday, we get another surge of moisture coming in. Could be some heavier rainfall during that time. And then again, more scattered on and off, kind of lighter rain shower activity and some drizzle too for Wednesday as that low pressure system moves overhead. And then eventually we get on the back side of that and we've got a couple of snowflakes that can mix in there for Thursday. But assuming no moisture disrupt from the thunderstorms to the south, rainfall totals between Tuesday and Thursday could be anywhere between about a ½ an inch up to an inch of rain. Now our frost is pretty much eliminated from the ground, so we should be able to allow that to soak in, especially with it coming in over the next several days. But you might notice some creeks and streams on the rise. Trying to mesh those two words together didn't work out so well. 54 on Tuesday, 51 there on Wednesday, so still above average. But guys, our numbers here as we look into the weekend going to drop back below as we see the 40s return Saturday and Sunday.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
It is trade deadline day, and the NHL and the Blackhawks use the opportunity to continue their rebuild. The big move was a trade that sent goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury to the Wild for a conditional first-round draft pick this year. If Fleury performs well in the playoffs, it is a first-rounder. If he doesn't, it'll be a second-round pick. Fleury was solid in 45 games with the Blackhawks. His goals against average was .995. His save percentage was .908. When the Blackhawks signed him last summer, I felt it was a good move. I mean, they had nothing to lose. At the time, they still thought they could be a playoff team, and a veteran goaltender like Fleury was needed. As this season went on, it became apparent this is not a playoff team, so why not move on from Fleury and obtain another high draft pick? The big question now is, should the Blackhawks also move on from Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane? Since the trade deadline is passed, that's a topic for the summer. I think GM Kyle Davidson would trade them if he could, but he won't because of how popular Kane and Toews are with the fans. The only way Taylor will trade them is if Kane or Taves flat out demand to be traded. Then Davidson can tell the fans, hey, it really wasn't his call. Well, the feeling is Kofi Cockburn has played his last game for the Fighting Illini. He still has eligibility left, so he could return to Illinois. Perhaps another early exit from the NCAA tournament has him feeling he still has some unfinished business, and he'll want to come back for another shot. I'm sure he does feel that way, but overriding that feeling is most likely the thought that his supporting cast probably won't be good enough next season to contend for a deeper run in the tournament. And he's already achieved all that he can in the college game individually. He was a second-team All-American last year, a first-teamer this year. So I expect Cockburn to go pro. With that said, I don't think his game will translate very well to the NBA. He'll be drafted. He'll probably wind up on some team, but he'll probably spend most of his time riding the bench, at least his first few years. In today's NBA game, big men aren't bruising centers who do 90+% of their damage under the basket. They're versatile. They're ball handlers. They're three-point shooters. They're slashers and they're rim protectors. Think Giannis, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Jared Allen, and Nikola Jokic. They're mobile enough and quick enough to defend pick and rolls and quickly switch off on guys. I can't see Cockburn doing those things. I'll root for Cockburn to make it big in the NBA. I just don't see it. But he could make some good money, though, playing in a foreign country.
Today was an absolutely gorgeous day.
It was nice. Nice continuation from yesterday.
Yes.
Right, yeah, it started out great and just continued to get better, mid-70s. Can't beat that for mid to almost late March now.
Yeah, not near record in the 80s. I was set back in 2012, but our numbers are kind of going to go downhill these next couple of days. We'll still be above average for at least the next couple of days, Tuesday, Wednesday, but we add in the cloud cover, the first warning interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. We'll start to see some rain move into late during the overnight tonight. You'll have some showers there early tomorrow and then more scattered activity for the afternoon. Not a good day to really kind of be outside. Good next couple of days to plan some indoor activities. Steadier rainfall Tuesday into Wednesday and then cooler by the end of the week.
All right, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.